So I'm here today with Dr. Eve Grodnitzky, who is a research psychologist.
That's right.
And I just heard a presentation on mindset. So Eve, what is mindset?
I'd say mindset is the very fundamental ways we think about how the world works and specifically about how human beings work. It's a key set of beliefs about how human beings work that lead us to engage in different behaviors that ultimately get us different outcomes. Basically our brain's core programming about how human beings work.
And Eve, you say that there's a continuum on this mindset, and there are kind of two extremes on the continuum. Maybe you can tell us about that.
Yeah. The original research by Carol Dweck introduced really two extremes. One on the left-hand side is called fixed mindset. The one on the right-hand side is called growth mindset. Not surprisingly, fixed is not the awesome one. Growth is the much better one. Fixed mindset, your job is really to prove how awesome you already are, because you really believe that intelligence and skills are inherent traits. You have them or you don't. So your job becomes proving how awesome you already are. As a result, some really unfortunate things happen. You avoid challenges. You only want to do things you're already good at. Feedback's super scary. You resent others who are more successful than you. Growth mindset, by comparison, believes that it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and how you finish is largely up to you. So there are genetic cards that are dealt, but those are not as important as how hard you work at things. So your job is not proving how smart you already are, how awesome you already are. It's just doing whatever it takes to get more awesome. So you love challenge, you love to push and challenge and stretch yourself. Feedback's great because it helps you get better. You're inspired by other people who are better than you because it helps you draft off of them and improve as well. So very different ways to go through life.
And you talk about how mindset really affects performance and productivity in an office.
Yep.
How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, so many things. One of the things we talk about is that there are very different performance curves for our fixed mindset folks and growth mindset folks. Our fixed mindset folks have a tendency to figure out what they're naturally good at, improve to a point, then get scared of failure and plateau. Our growth mindset folks don't really worry so much about failure. They have a tendency to just keep on failing their way right on past the performance of the growth or the fixed mindset folks because they're not afraid of failure and challenge and stretch and the grit necessary to come back from failure. And we see as well that there are two other things that really help drive that fail better each time in terms of performance, or fail better each time in pursuit of awesome that we see with growth mindset. One is fair and accurate informal feedback. Basically, I call that the TSA approach to feedback. If you see something, say something. And also destigmatizing the right kind of risk and failure, creating an environment where fail early, fail often, fail cheap is my reality. Each of those things has about a 40% impact increase on performance for our growth mindset folks over fixed mindset folks.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
So Eve, what can I do personally to move myself along towards the growth mindset?
And I'd say there's a lot of different things we can do both at the individual level and at the organizational level. One of the things that I really like to talk about at the individual level is what I call attributions of causality. So when I succeed or when I fail or when somebody else succeeds or fails, to what do I attribute the cause of that success or failure? And the principle here, it's a really simple one but really hard to execute in practice, is I want 100% of the attributions of causality for success or failure to be to behaviors. 0%, zero nada, to inherent traits or the genetic cards that you were dealt. Growth mindset is all about behaviors, and that's what we want to emphasize as opposed to natural skills or abilities, which is much more aligned with fixed mindset.
So if somebody did really well on a math test, what would they tell themselves?
Not, you're so smart, you're such a natural math person, but you worked really hard, you studied, you used practice tests, you spent a lot of time with your tutor. Whatever the behaviors are that the person engaged in that got them a good outcome, it's the behavior that we want to focus on.
So if I wanted to learn more about this, what should I do?
My number one suggestion would actually be to read Carol Dweck's original book, Mindset. It's called Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. It's by Carol Dweck. It's a fantastic read. She has a TED Talk as well, and I actually have essentially the equivalent of a TED Talk for Vista Studios that's out there on YouTube.
And how do I find it?
Grodnitzky Mindset. Not too many that meet that criteria on YouTube. So Grodnitzky and Mindset, you'll find it.
Eve, thank you so much.
My pleasure, thank you.
Thanks for watching The Matrix Minute. Don't forget to connect with us on our blog and social media. For more information, go to matrixgroup.net.